Hello, gardening friends. Today is Sunday, March 19th. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning, and boy, is it chilly. There's a brisk wind blowing today. It got down to about 37 last night, and they're predicting a little frost for tonight, but it'll be a light frost if we get any. I will be bringing my plants in. I thought I'd start with a little view of what's been happening out at the street. Progress is being made. I have a beautiful trench along the side of my property. There you can see the new sidewalks, and the roadblock has been moved up to this particular street. So the sidewalks are coming. Here's my purple crepe myrtle. Get a better view of it on this side. It's all leafed out nicely. In fact, everything is leafed out nicely. I did fertilize everything this weekend. Actually on Thursday, since I knew the rains were coming Friday. I bought about 30 pounds of palm fertilizer to fertilize all of my palms. I had azalea and camellia fertilizer on hand, and I bought some citrus fertilizer, and basically I fertilized everything, even inadvertently fertilized baby who was sleeping underneath one of the plants. I was so thankful for the rains when they came, because some of the fertilizers I get are organic. I'm not an organic gardener, have nothing against them. Some of my best friends are organic gardeners. I just don't like to pay the extra money for anything with organic attached to its name. But fertilizers are hard to get this year. I guess it has something to do with the war in the Ukraine. So you kind of have to settle for whatever fertilizers you can find for whatever price they want to charge. I did order some more palm fertilizer like I like to use from Walmart, and it's on its way, but at least I did fertilize everything. Not much has changed back here. It all looks good. Things are sprouting. There's a couple more amaryllis coming on either side of my little stone bench. It's going to be kind of green here now for the rest of the year. I'm hoping I can plant something colorful in the little circular bed under the bird bath. I see the birds are wanting to get at their food over there. I hear them. Now that I have a little more sun in the front. Bananas are leafing out. I did fertilize them as well. Amaryllis are still sprouting up. I did move a few of them around. When you plant amaryllis in your yard, you could do it a couple of ways. One is you could leave them in the pots until spring, when the other amaryllis that you planted start sending up greens. Or if you're like me and you're frugal with your use of pots, many times I put the new amaryllis in the old amaryllis pots. Well, that means you have to bury the new amaryllis bulbs outside. Well, sometimes it's just a crapshoot, because you don't really know where all the other bulbs are, because they're underground, and sometimes you wind up with a clump in a spot that's just a little too overcrowded. No big deal though, you just dig them up and move them around. That one's still in blossom because it's been chilly, and the blossoms do last quite a long time when it's cool outside. I did fertilize I fertilized everything, but even these gardenias, and everything is showing a new spring growth. I am going to harvest quite a lot of my lettuce today. This is leaf lettuce, so you can pick it. And in fact, this one's already starting to bolt, so I'm definitely going to harvest that side. I'll do a large salad at some point today. Because if there is a light frost, that's enough to really wreak havoc with lettuce. I don't think it would kill it, but it'll wreak havoc with it. We can't grow lettuce for a very long time here because the heat will make it bolt like that is doing over there. That's romaine on that side. Here you can see my Australian tree fern doing well. I did add a little more dirt to my cordyline. In fact, I topped off all of my containers and I fertilized them as well. In fact, I need to go and buy me some more Osmocote. I use a slow release fertilizer for my containers. This week I'm going to work on these 3 topiary forms. I've had them here now for 3 years. I got them at 75% off sale at Hobby Lobby 3 years ago. And I decided, since I have ivy on that side of the sidewalk, I wanted to try some on this side, but I thought variegated would look nicer in the sun, so, because this is a little sunnier on this side. So I planted 3 bits of ivy 3 years ago, and you could never guess which one of these topiaries the ivy liked the best. It's the first. And what I'm waiting to do is I want to take cuttings, so all of the excess ivy on this one, I'm going to try rooting, because it is fairly easy to root, and move them down to the other topiary forms. This one did catch last year, so I'm going to just wire it to the frame, not wire it, but I'll actually tie it to the frame, and hopefully that will fill out nicely this year. This one is the second year, and I did notice just a few minutes ago that there is a new shoot coming, that it did survive, so, but that's where I'll put the cuttings around that particular one. I did learn with this phone, this is the second time I'm doing this particular video today. I accidentally turned the phone upside down and it instantly stopped filming, so I had to start all over again. So hopefully I'll cover the same material. There you get a view of my deck. It's doing nicely. My pitcher plants are doing really well there. Not too much here has changed since last week, other than me fertilizing everything. I did not fertilize my boxwoods. The main reason being is these boxwoods have been in this place, in their places here, other than the topiary ones in the pots. They've been here for probably over 10 years. And about 4 or 5 years ago, I had them hacked in half. And they've all come back, so they have roots that go down to China. So I don't need to worry about fertilizing them. They can fend for themselves, or get the runoffs from the other fertilizer that you sprinkle. Because like when I fertilize this Satsuma, you need to fertilize to the edge of the drip line, so everything's going to benefit from the Satsuma fertilizer. It's chilly today. I was having my coffee before. I'll have to microwave it warm again. The seed pod on this particular plant is still there. Hasn't ripened yet. Golden chalice vine. That is not chlorotic. It's normal. What happens is it blooms in the fall. All the leaves will fall off of it and it'll leaf out again in mid-spring. And the new leaves it'll have for another year. So it's going to cast off all the old leaves. And then I need to keep slugs and anything else away from the leaves, otherwise they don't regenerate. Angel's trumpet is doing nicely. I have a backup in the garage should this one freeze. I haven't figured out what to do yet with the backup. Cyclamen are starting to peter out, but they have really bloomed their hearts out. You can see in my videos. excuse me, they have been blooming since I've put them there back in September. So I got the good out of them. I treat them as annuals. They're not going to come back. But everything else here is doing really well. The pitcher plant here is blooming nicely. And this other pitcher plant is just sending out all kinds of new growth. This is a Nepenthes. This is an old world pitcher plant. The other is a Sarracenia, a new world pitcher plant. Oh, I meant to tell you, or don't forget. Well, not that you're going to do anything about it, but tomorrow is the equinox. Yay! So we have just as much daylight as we have nighttime. And I guess the official start of spring will be later in the week. But the equinox really is when spring begins. The only other thing to mention back here was I finally did give up on the Meyer lemon. It had started sprouting a little bit, but I was very disappointed last week. And in that I went to document the growth, and I noticed that apparently the birds like the new tender growth on the tree, and they like to land in the tree since it was pretty much bare of leaves, and they nipped all of the sprouts off. So it probably would have come back, but I thought, you know, weather's changing a little bit. Let me plant an Ozark plum in its place. So I'll still stick to fruits over here, but at least I'll have a plum tree. I don't think it's going to have any plums this year, although it has a few blossoms. I have had a plum tree back here before. I had it where my rose garden is, with the boiling pot that I have as a fountain. And that was when I realized that under there is a big slab of concrete, about 4 foot by 4 foot, and it's about 1.5 feet deep in the ground. So you can't really plant anything major there, and that has a big root system because of the slab of concrete. So I thought, let me do roses and just put a fountain in its place. But I did have a plum tree there temporarily for about 2 years till it died, and it grew nicely. Had some delicious plums from it, but there was really no place for the roots to go, so I wound up removing it and changing my plans. But there you have it for today. It's a beautiful day today, a little chilly. And while I was making this video, I got a message from my tax lady that she's got my taxes done. So I'm going to give her a call right after I stop this video. So until next time, have a good week and stay warm. Bye.